welcome back to Pets on Parade. During the first few weeks of life, a kitten's primary concerns are eating, keeping warm, and socializing. And if a kitten is separated from his mother, caring for him could be up to us as humans. And joining us today, we have Brooke from the Arizona Humane Society, along with Lisa, of course, helping us with these little itty-bitty friends. Brooke, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
So you are an expert when it comes to taking care of these little itty-bitty ones. And we have some kitties that are all different ages here. Let's start with the one that you have here. About how old do you think this one is, to kind of give people an idea if they do stumble across a kitty, what care they might need? So
I would say this one is less than 2 weeks old. You can tell by their age if their eyes are not open yet, and also if their umbilical cord is still attached to their stomach.
It is. So how old do you, so he's about under 2 weeks
Under
old.
2 weeks, maybe a week.
And what kind of care does this little fella need?
It's very important that they only get formula at this age, and that the formula is warm when they're eating it, and that they are also warm when they're eating it. So we use these heating pads here to warm them up in their kennels, because their food will not digest right if their bodies aren't warm and if the formula is not warm.
Can you give us a little demonstration on how he takes to the bottle? Because sometimes it's kind of hard for them to adjust to a bottle when they're so used to their mothers.
Yeah, the bottle's nipples are actually a lot different than their mother's, because sometimes they're bigger, and sometimes some of them have never even taken to a mother's nipple. So we kind of have to, I guess, force it into their mouth until they understand it, and squeeze a little bit of milk into their mouth so that they know that there is food and nutrition going in, and then eventually they will take to it and start suckling.
And you know you're doing it right when you see their little ears wiggling and their paws kneading. That's a good sign. So now let's move on to this little fellow that Lisa's holding to. So about how old do we think that she is?
Probably about 3 weeks old.
3 weeks old. Her eyes are open. She's still got really round features, and she's eating a mixture of formula and what we call gruel, right?
Yeah, it's a wet recovery food that we use in the shelter that has a lot of nutrients that these little guys need.
And so how often do these guys need to be fed?
They can go every 3 to 4 hours between their feedings. They tend to eat a little more, so it keeps their stomach a little bit fuller.
Okay. Wow, he's really chowing down, Lisa. He seems to really like that. Now, this little one that I'm holding here, you can tell, much more active, round little features, but still kind of wobbly. And he's about 4 weeks old, we're saying?
Yeah.
So what kind of care would this little guy need?
He takes the same gruel, wet recovery food, but at that age they start to eat on their own. We kind of just guide them to the food, and then they'll stick their face in it and realize that it's food, and then eventually they'll just start eating on their own. And at that point they can go into regular foster care.
So, and this guy and his litter mates are off to, in about another week, they'll be heading out to our kitten nursery to finish growing there until they're about 8 weeks of age. So for those of you at home, if you do find a litter in your yard, don't just scoop them up right away. Wait a couple of hours, see if mom comes by, because really their chance of survival is much greater if mom is present. If mom doesn't return, try to bottle feed the kittens, keep them warm, try to foster them until they're about 8 weeks old, or at least 4 weeks and eating on their own, so that we can put them into our kitten nursery and finish raising them. And if the cats are friendly and social, when they reach that 8 weeks of age, you can bring them to an animal welfare agency. They could put them up for adoption, spay and neuter them. If the kitten's friendly, then you'll want to contact, many different TNR programs, trap, neuter, and return. They're all listed at somanycats.org, and you'll want to get those babies fixed so that you don't end up with another litter on your hands. Mom can get pregnant just a few weeks after raising her babies, so then you have a whole nother litter on your hands again. So more information at azhumane.org. We even have videos to help you along the way with bottle feeding. And thank you, Brooke, so much for bringing these little ones on the show today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
All right, stay with us. We have more adoptable pets, and our Girl Scout friends are joining us to share how they helped animals at the